Update. Fiancé called off our wedding a week before and left me in complete confusion. Original post. So, my ex-fiancé, 30 male, has canceled our 30 female wedding a week before it taking place. We've been together for about 6 years and lived together. For context. What happened basically was an argument that escalated. We were heading to my program graduation. It's a smaller event of about 10 students and some professors from a community college. On that morning as we were getting ready, I asked if he would be okay to wear one of his button-ups instead of the shirt he had on so we can get a nice photo. He was annoyed and snapped saying, "Why do I have to do things for others?" And I told him that he truly doesn't have to. I was just asking, but it's ultimately his choice. He ended up putting the button up and we arrived at the ceremony. Everything went fine and he was very happy for me. However, on the way home in the car, traffic was filling up and he was annoyed. I offered an alternative route that I know cuts some time and the exit to that route was coming up. He didn't take it and I was slightly annoyed about it because he was cranky with me about traffic. So I asked why he didn't take it. He started full-on yelling that my tone is rude and that he doesn't have to drive the way I tell him to. I replied saying that I literally just asked and I don't actually care what route he takes. He was the one having a problem with traffic. He blew up and blamed me for getting him upset. When we got home, I apologized and explained that I didn't mean to come across as mean. I also said that screaming doesn't help in any situation and that we should talk instead. He basically explained that an apology doesn't solve anything and that he needs such things to not happen. Otherwise, he would continue exploding at me because that's the only time I listened to him. After a few hours, we spoke again. He apologized for yelling, and I apologized for the miscommunication that happened. Despite resolving this, later that night, I was crying due to the fact that he so easily yells at me when he's upset. I was so upset that even on such an important day for me, I felt like he picked fights. And to add to this, yelling is such a red flag for me, and I never do that to him or anyone for that matter. The next morning, we were having breakfast, and he asked why I seemed gloomy, so I told him that everything's okay. I'm just processing what happened yesterday. He asked me to please share with him, so I told him that I felt like my special day was kind of ruined by fighting about things we could have easily resolved. He immediately just flipped and started getting angry again. He blamed me for the fights, and when I replied that I don't think it's fair to blame me, he got angrier and said that he can't do this, that I'm not a good communicator and that he cannot get married like this. I was full-on shocked. I thought he was talking out of emotion, like many times before, but this time, he actually ended up sending a mass text to some guests to let them know that the wedding is called off. I was flabbergasted at the quickness and so confused. We started arguing and then had to leave for our days. Later that day, when we returned, I asked if this is truly something he wants, to call everything off, and he responded with a confident yes. What I thought was an action out of anger seemed to be solid for him. For the rest of the night and the next day, I tried to fix things between us. After many hours of talking and lots of crying from my end, he kept explaining that I don't communicate well and that this cancellation is my fault. I tried to offer some solutions, but he was full on with the decision to cancel and break up. I asked if we could give it another day or two to ensure this is what he wants before we cancel the venue. He declined and asked to cancel the venue and vendors immediately. So we did. The next day, I went on errands and then met with my friend. It was truly such a hard day, and I was heartbroken, still digesting this is happening. When I came home, he asked to talk and started crying that he regrets everything he said in the last days. That he didn't mean it, he was angry and didn't think straight. He said he will start therapy and wanted to do couples counseling now too, after I offered it many times. Anyway, he apologized profusely and kept asking if we can mend everything or whether he messed up. I was almost sure this regret would come, and honestly, maybe it was mean, but I said, "Yeah, you messed up big time. You made a rash decision that hurt our relationship big time. There's no going back from here." He pretty much begged for another chance, but everything is canceled and my trust is shattered. The wedding's supposed to be in 2 days, His aunt was supposed to be on the way to our house to help us pack decorations. And now, there's no way we can schedule everything again. And frankly, I don't want to at this point. This is not the first he cancels plans or breaks up with me during a disagreement. Everyone is telling us that this is fixable, that clearly we love each other. So if we want, this situation doesn't have to be the end of the relationship. But I don't understand how. So much time, effort, and money has gone into this wedding that's now done. And plus, more importantly, I can't trust him anymore. I don't know what to do at this point. We were supposed to go on honeymoon right after, so now I'm thinking on going by myself. He asked if we can go together and spend that time to fix things, but I'm just questioning everything. I think I prefer going myself to do some soul searching. Should I call this quits and move on with my life? Or take his word and start couples counseling? I love him with my entire heart, and we had many loving experiences between us over the years. We don't have any issues aside from such incidents, but I don't know whether it's actually possible to come back from this one. Thoughts? Advice? Now for the top advice before reading the updates. You don't want to marry this man, and he's doing you a huge favor. Huge. Find a place to live, extricate yourself financially from him, and thank your lucky stars you're not going to waste a decade with a man who screams at you all the time before you get that divorce. God forbid you have kids with him. If this is an accurate telling of the events, dude is a nightmare, and I guarantee once OP starts pulling away, he will try to convince her to get back together. You may not see or feel this now, but you have dodged a bullet. This guy is an a-hole. He is a thin-skinned jackass who yells at you and then manipulated you into feeling like his anger and volatility are your fault. Go read a book, if you will, called Why Does He Do That? By Lundy Bancroft. It might help you make sense of some things. Just as she's getting her degree, he needs to knock her down and make sure she's emotionally dependent on him. God, I hope this OP recognizes the truth that all of us are telling her. Better to lose all of the costs related to the wedding rather than 10 more years of her life and, possibly, 2 emotionally scarred kids. Seriously, I had an ex who did the same crap. He verbally berated me while I was driving to my college graduation party. Joke's on him. I just ignored him for the whole day and had a great time, but ugh. I think insecure men see you bettering yourself and assume you will leave them and feel threatened, and thus hasten the leaving lol. My ex ruined every single event we had together, including the day of my mother's funeral, when I was 6 months pregnant and he yelled at me in the car because I didn't know the way to the cemetery. It's almost 2 decades later, and I still don't enjoy things the way I used to. Now for the first update. Thanks to everyone for the comments and support. Since all this happened, he apologized profusely and offered to return the venue, and still go and get married on the same day. He also offered couples counseling starting now and right after we get married, if I still want to. He also offered to go on the trip together to fix things. I declined to everything since the damage has been done, and I decided to go on the honeymoon myself while he packs all his items. He's going to start his own therapy journey while we're broken up. I don't know what's next, but this hurts so much because we still love each other. He's going to work on his mental health to address the impulsive actions when he's upset. He also realized it wasn't actually a communication issue, but rather how he felt attacked due to his own confidence. I appreciate his honesty, but can't see how it's possible to forgive what happened. Second update a year later. For everyone who attempted to talk some sense into me, you all have no idea how many times the comments in the original post saved me from going back and second-guessing myself. You literally saved me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So, he moved out, and then we met on the day of the wedding for a closure conversation. Lots of crying, and we kissed for the last time. Thankfully, I felt nothing. This is how I knew it was over. He continued wanting to get back together and started intensive therapy with the support of his family. We stayed in contact for a bit before I realized it didn't feel good, so we cut contact. He remained hopeful of reconciliation, but respectful of my wishes to stop communication. The moment I stepped back fully, I felt so much more like myself, a confident, lively, and silly version of myself. I missed her so much, and to add to it, my 31st birthday felt like a complete rebirth. Almost a year later, I'm somehow the happiest I've ever been. My entire life fell apart, and I struggled immensely. But surprise, everything worked out. Now I'm in a new relationship, and it feels so peaceful, which took a lot of adjusting too. The ex feels like a past life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For anyone reading this, please leave the abusive relationship. If you're questioning whether it's abusive, the odds of it being so are high. Your sanity, mental wellness, and physical health matter. Don't forget that. It does get better, not only in movies. Honestly, that's about as good of an outcome as someone in this situation could hope for. The fact that you recognized the contact was bringing you pain and made a conscious decision to step away from that is not an easy thing to do. You should be proud of yourself. Truly the best outcome. Many said, "Thank your lucky stars," and now I understand. Thanks for the support. I'm so happy to read this update. Your original post and update should be posted in every thread where a woman posts something similar. It's impossible to explain how great being free of an abuser is to someone who is still with one. If you'd taken him back, every single special occasion would have been ruined by him. It's impossible to make yourself small enough for an abusive man. Thank you. Almost every special occasion was ruined. It's ridiculous how much I was willing to put up with. Definitely a good lesson learned regarding boundaries. Next story. Update. My boyfriend is going away for all of Memorial Day weekend to spend time with his friend in a cabin alone. Original post. Looking for advice on a triggering situation that feels all too familiar. My ex and I, both 25 at the time, started as friends at work, and our relationship was great. He was my best friend. But issues came up with his longtime female friends. They'd say, "I love you," sit on each other's laps, and touch each other in ways I felt were inappropriate. Despite expressing my discomfort and asking him to set boundaries, he couldn't. So I messaged the women myself out of frustration, which blew up the situation. Fast forward. My current boyfriend, 31 male, and I, 29 now, also started as close work friends and developed a strong mutual relationship. We've been friends now for 8 months, officially dating for 4 months. He's a kind, giving person and sees serving others as part of his faith, which I admire. But his situation with his female friend, Olivia, 30 female, is bringing back those same feelings of being second. Olivia, who lives in another state, my boyfriend's home state where he moved from almost a year ago, and knows about me, invited herself for his birthday weekend this Memorial Day weekend, and booked a cabin just for the two of them, Friday to Monday. She's shown no interest in meeting me, and though I was initially supportive, I now feel excluded and confused. He said multiple times that he doesn't even want to go, that he feels trapped, suspects she might have romantic feelings, and wouldn't normally hang out with her this long. But he's going anyway because he feels bad. She has chronic health issues and recently lost her dog. I'm angry and sad. I don't expect to be the center of anyone's universe, but I can't understand why he'd prioritize someone he doesn't even seem close to over me, especially when I've been clear about how this impacts me. I want to be understanding and supportive, but I also want to feel respected and prioritized. How do I approach this without trying to control the situation or sacrificing my own emotional well-being? Now for the top advice before reading the update. So he feels bad if he disappoints her but is okay with disappointing you? That tells you all you need to know about his potential as your boyfriend. This is exactly right. I would take it one step further than just telling him that it's over. I hope you can find a guy friend to start hanging out with. Just a friend, of course. I hope you will then be unavailable for dates with your soon-to-be ex, because I'm sure this new friend has lost a pet or has some other issue that you can help him with. Your soon-to-be ex needs to understand how this feels. Maybe try telling him the truth that if he goes on this trip, it'll be the end of your relationship. If he won't put her in her place even when he's uncomfortable, then she'll always be around. Do you really want to put up with her forever? It's only been 4 months and you can already see it coming. Is it worth it? I don't think so, and I think this is definitely proving to be a litmus test. I can't stand to be someone who doesn't learn from her past experiences. You seem great, but I've been through this before and I need someone who always puts their partner first. This isn't going to work for me. Sorry. That's about as much explanation as you owe him. It is not remotely controlling to expect your partner to not stay in an accommodation alone with another female, and you have every right to say something. The fact is that you shouldn't have to even bring the subject up, because he never should have put you in a situation where you'd have to address this. If I were you, I'd make it black or white and say, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone who thinks it's okay to stay alone with another female. You can absolutely make the choice that's best for you, but if you do go, that's the end of us, and I need to do what's best for me. I would also point out the fact that you'd never put him in this position if the roles were reversed. So aside from setting that boundary, you can acknowledge that you don't appreciate even being in a position where you'd have to utter those words. Just know that you are not controlling in the least. You're in a situation you shouldn't be. And even if you think she's the villain in this, it's your boyfriend who's allowing it all to happen. The reality check I needed, thank you. Now for the update. So I offered potential solutions. I offered compromises. I was clear with what exactly was bothering me and that I would never put him in this position. I told him he would be so incredibly hurt, and rightfully so, if I did this to him. I told him he could decide for himself what he wants to do, and I told him what I wouldn't be tolerating from a partner. He acknowledged and agreed that everything I was saying was true. Then he went. Because he wants to get out of the habit of being so flaky and made a commitment, so he has to go. I texted him that I'll always love him, now only as a friend, like I told him from the very beginning. Now I'm not even sure I can or want to. Love is a choice. The opposite of love is indifference, and he's all but told me he's indifferent to me, both as a partner and as a friend. Thanks for the tough love, Reddit. I'd rather be angry at him and at myself for not seeing this coming than be sad while he feels absolutely nothing. So yes, I ended it. I can't even think about him or the situation without being angry. I look forward to when the anger turns to indifference. Just cut him off completely, OP. That's the best thing for you, and that's what matters here. Agreed. OP, you need to be careful. When he comes back, he will try to get you back. No. Once he's fulfilled his commitment to cheat on OP, gotta keep his word, he will monkey branch into a new relationship with his friend. Really just cheating on you full on in front of your face, huh? What a POS. I speculate he feels content because he didn't lie about anything. This hit a nerve for me, lol. My ex was exactly like this, and we've had incredibly similar issues arise. Religious guilt or something making him carefully select every word he says. So he's not technically lying, but still so far from honesty in every sense. The people-pleasing BS is so ridiculous at his big age. If you can't bring yourself to consider your partner's feelings at least as much as you consider your friends, don't get into a relationship. You made the right call, and I'm so glad you left. Please trust me when I say not to go back. If he's as much like my ex as he seems to be, they get pretty damn convincing. I stayed way too long, and honestly may have some mild form of PTSD from that experience. You told him it's unacceptable, and he went anyway. His excuses are pathetic and obvious lies. OP, stop telling him you love him. Why do people feel the need to let a-holes down gently? He straight up told you she's more important than you, and you're texting him that you will always love him? He's not worthy of your love or your friendship. Don't give him access to you without the commitment, which is exactly what this friendship will look like. I guess it's my nature to default to love, but that doesn't mean I always choose to continue doing so.